champions and the boxing superstars, where are you? I'm waiting, let's fight. I'm the most avoided boxer.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, it's been a long time, and excuse my French, but it fucking feels great to say that. It feels fucking amazing to say that because, you know, I took a little bit of break from YouTube. You know, life really hasn't been quite the same since I got back from Japan. I haven't been mentally all the way there. You know, I'm still getting used to America. It's been almost a month, but I'm still getting used to being back in America. It's kind of weird. And then, you know, shout out to the Florida Panthers. They were in the Stanley Cup final recently. So I took a Stanley Cup final sabbatical from boxing. So it was great. I needed it. I'm refreshed, and I'm definitely here to talk some boxing with you guys. So the first video I wanted to make, you know, in this little 2-week absence I've had from YouTube is I wanted to speak on Teofimo Lopez because first and foremost, let me commend my hat. Let me tip my cap, take my hat off to it. In my Mayweather voice, I take my hat off to Teofimo Lopez. He's a hell of a fighter, you know, like I said before. But no, shout out to Teofimo, man. He did his thing. A lot of people, and I'm gonna raise both my hands, myself included. I didn't pick Teofimo Lopez to beat Josh Taylor, and a lot of people didn't pick Teofimo Lopez to beat Josh Taylor, but I will give a special shout out, and I give credit where credit is due. My main man, Sean Tatel, told me months ago in advance that Teofimo Lopez would beat Josh Taylor. He's one of the only guys in the media that I know picked Teofimo Lopez to beat Josh Taylor, so he gets full credit for that. But I wanted to, you know, many years ago, guys, right, and please bear with me because it's going to be a long video. I have a lot to say about this. But we'll start here because I feel like this is a good starting point. Many years ago, I'm going to say like somewhere around 2016, 2017, back when I lived, you know, further up north from where I do now, when I was back living in Dania Beach, had my old apartment there. I remember one night I went to go on a I went to 7-Eleven one night. This is like 2016, 2017. I went to 7-Eleven. And when I went to 7-Eleven, I ran into an amateur boxer that's close to Teofimo named Slick Vic. That's his name. I don't know his real name, but I just know him. I know him as Slick Vic. I know Teofimo knows him as Slick Vic. So Junior, his father, Teo, if you see this, Slick Vic. I saw Slick Vic at 7-Eleven. This is on Dania Beach. This is on Dania Beach down Federal Highway. If you guys know South Florida, Dania Beach down Federal Highway, South Federal Highway, going towards the Fort Lauderdale Airport. That's the 7-Eleven we met at. We congregated at. And I remember while I was there, I was talking to Slick Vic and his father. I was at 7-Eleven in the candy aisle for like 2-3 hours. Not hours, to 20 or 30 minutes. I should say not 2-3 hours, but like 20 or 30 minutes I was in the candy aisle conversing with them about boxing. And they pretty much told me, they said, look, BT, listen, Brendan, Gordo. They didn't call him by Teofimo because if you grew up with Teofimo in the amateurs or at local gyms here in South Florida, we don't call him Teofimo. He's known as Gordo. All right. So they said BT, this kid Gordo, when he turns pro, when he gets up there to the up in the ranks, never bet against him. He's never going to lose. He's that damn good. He's a special fighter. They told me this 6-7 years ago, 2016, you know, 2016, 2017, around that time. All right. And so I pretty much followed that script his whole career up until he fought Josh Taylor, because I've always been a big Josh Taylor guy. I've always thought the world of Josh Taylor. And let's be real. I mean, Teofimo had problems outside the ring. He still got those problems despite the win. And it just made the pick made a lot of sense. But you know, listen, factor in, right? I'm gonna throw this in there. I'm gonna throw this in there. I know that when Teofimo did his last camp, he did his last camp down here in South Florida. Now, I didn't get a chance to go see him or anything like that because I just been Japan, Orlando. I've been kind of all over the place. And then when I got home, my mind has been all the way here, right? So I didn't get the opportunity or the privilege to go see him. But I know he was down there at this gym called Level Up Boxing and Fitness. And this is a gym here in South Florida, which is like, you get some pros that walk in there, but it's not like anybody of a Teofimo caliber. You know, it is what the name says it is. Level Up Boxing and Fitness. It's a boxing and fitness gym. So my thought was like, okay, well, why the hell is he training at Level Up Boxing and Fitness? You know, where is he getting sparring? How is he sparring? You know, I was trying to put these things together. Now, I know that Level Up Boxing and Fitness is very close to another gym, which does have people he can go spar, which is Contenders Boxing Gym at Carter Park, another famous gym here in South Florida. I'm not sure if he went there. I don't know. It's just an educated guess. But, you know, Teofimo Lopez, you know, prepared very well for this fight. I judge based on the results, because the performance against Josh Taylor was absolutely phenomenal. You know, we didn't see the Teofimo Lopez from 135, as his father so eloquently stated when he was with Bill Haney. He said that you're gonna see some boxing exhibition shit you never fucking seen before, bro. You know, you know how he talks. My son, bro. They said that pretty much you weren't gonna get the Teofimo Lopez that was, you know, slugging with, you know, Diego Magdaleno or Diego Magdaleno or Richard Coleman. You weren't gonna get that guy that we all fell in love with at 135. We were gonna get the guy that was the slick box from the amateurs, the guy that I heard about, the guy that when I was training here and there boxing, you know, many moons ago, not, you know, like what is it now, like 8-9 years ago when I first started boxing. I remember I trained with my boy who's no longer here with us, R.I.P. Gabriel Chacon. But Gabriel Chacon at Chiquinil's Boxing Gym, I was sparring him a lot around the time when he was getting ready to fight Teofimo Lopez in the Florida Golden Gloves. And so I knew from Teo long back then, and I had seen him once or twice just going to amateur shows, watching. And he was a slick boxer. He wasn't the guy, the fighter you guys know today, you know. So it was refreshing to see that he still has that in his toolbox. And I think for all the criticism that his father, you know, Teofimo Sr. has gotten, you know, because he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, you got to give him credit, because he told Sean Porter in their interview, he said, look, my son, it was my fault for my son's downfall. It was his fault that Teofimo didn't perform to the level he should have performed, because basically Teofimo Lopez had fallen in love with his power, and he kind of forgot some of the other attributes he had. So you got to give credit to him, because he corrected that mistake. You know, it's one thing, it's easy to criticize, but, you know, he went through the scrutiny. Him and his son stayed together, despite what I may have said, despite what any of you guys may have said, and they found a way to work those issues out and make the adjustments. So I respect him. I've always respected him, but I respect him even more for recognizing his faults and admitting them publicly and crediting them in the gym. He gets full credit for that. And for the way Teofimo Lopez performed, I know people don't want to hear it. I know people don't want to hear it about Teofimo Sr., but I told everybody he gonna be in the running for Trainer of the Year. He's got to be running for Trainer of the Year, because you know, it's easy to win fights when you're the favorite, but when your back's against the wall and nobody's picking you, and you got the whole sport of boxing poking fun at you, saying that you're not mentally tough, and you know, all these kind of things. You know, when you put in a performance like that, you honestly have to really consider the architect of the game plan for that performance, which would be Teofimo Sr. Consider him a Trainer of the Year. You know, obviously we're only in June. There's still a lot of boxing to be had this year, but he's got to be in the running. So with that win, Teofimo is now a two-division lineal champion. So, listen, I know there's a lot of debate about whether he was undisputed or not, but he's two-division lineal champion. I mean, Terrence Crawford's two-division lineal champion. Teofimo's two-division lineal champion. I mean, you gotta give credit where credit is due. He's doing his damn thing. He's beating Josh Taylor. He's beating Lomachenko. That's a pretty damn good. Those are two pretty good scalps to have on your resume at the age 25. Now he's come out and said multiple times that he's gonna retire from boxing. He then actually doubled down on that by vacating the WBO 140-pound title, which he just captured against Josh Taylor. So he's, you know, and now he's obviously got a bigger fight than boxing going on. He's got to go to the divorce court with his wife, and, you know, may God be with him, because I've never been divorced nor married, but I've heard stories and I've seen what it's done to people that I know in real life, and I wouldn't wish divorce on my worst enemy, because I know what it can do to a man's psyche, and I know what it can do to a man's life. So I wish him the best in his fight against his wife in the divorce court. Hopefully it goes well, but you know, the question is, Will Teofimo Lopez stay retired? Now, a lot of people have been asking me on Instagram, while I haven't been making videos, what do I think about Teofimo Lopez as far as will he stay retired from boxing? Now, personally, I don't think he will retire from boxing for a couple of reasons. Number one, his wife's going to take, hopefully, only half of his shit. She might, with the divorce course these days, she might take more, right? So if that happens, he may have to box out of necessity. I don't know. I'm not trying to pocket watch. I'm just saying, like, it's gonna be tough to just walk away. Now, the great thing for Teofimo Lopez is he's a very well-spoken person. He definitely, I think, if he decided to go full 100% into commentating and Top Rank or another network game, a commentating gig, I feel like Teofimo Lopez would thrive in commentating. He could definitely come and do some of the things I do here on True School Sports. I can see Teofimo Lopez doing interviews and doing commentary. He's one of those people with that kind of personality. So, yeah, I think he's got a future in that for sure. I think he's also mentioned the fact that, but he hasn't been specific about other ideas he has in boxing. So I don't really feel like Teofimo Lopez needs boxing as much as you guys think. I feel like if he can get into commentating, or if he can find another avenue in boxing, he can be a very valuable asset to the sport. And truth be told, look, I'm gonna say this. I think Teofimo Lopez should retire from boxing. I think he should actually not come back. Why? Because boxing is fickle. The industry is fickle. Fans are fickle. Media is fickle. Even me. I'll even point the finger at me. Even people like myself can be fickle towards fighters and stuff, right? And I can be humble enough and self-aware enough to know these things, right? And I feel like, look, you've been in big fights. You two-time lightweight lineal champion, 140-pound lineal champion. You beat Lomachenko, Josh Taylor, Nakatani, Richard Comey. Beat some good fighters, some great fighters too. Pound for pound fighters. You had classic moments in the ring. Like, okay, he could fight Devin Haney, he could fight Tank. These all be great fights, cool. But like, why does Teofimo Lopez gotta be the one to keep showing the world that he's the great one? Why can't Devin Haney or Tank? Why can't one of these guys show they're great for once? Teofimo's done. He's won fights as an underdog with his back against the wall. Could Tank go to 140 and beat a Josh Taylor or something like that, or Prograis? Let's see Tank in a fight like that. Let's see Devin in a fight like that. They ain't been in one fight like that like damn yet. So, with that being said, I would like to see him stay retired just because like. Boxing's gonna try to fuck him. Like, they're gonna really try to fuck him when he comes back, as far as like with getting him set up to lose. I feel like what's the point, man? You don't need the sport. You get out. You got a great record, great accomplishments. You don't need boxing to continue to function. I feel. I don't know his whole life, but that's just my perspective from the outside looking in. He's come out himself recently, right? Teofimo Lopez has come out himself recently and stated that he's not coming back to boxing until he gets a multi-fight deal directly with the network. So he's trying to cut the middleman out. He don't wanna get paid his purse and then have to pay 10 to 20% off top to Bob Arum or whatever it is. No, he wants to cut the middleman out because he feels like he's charismatic enough and he's smart enough and he's intelligent enough and he's learned the game enough to where he can be his own promotion and then get paid directly and keep more of his money, which I'm not against, because at the end of the day, Teofimo Lopez is definitely worth our time, our attention, and our energy. Listen, guys, there's a lot of fighters that have world title belts, and I respect them because they're fighters and they got to the top of boxing, but like they're not really doing much to captivate the public's imagination and keep their attention. We live in a fast-paced society. Teofimo Lopez has done things, whether it be from the Heisman night fights to the Fortnite dances to the great knockouts to the great boxing exhibitions that he's displayed against Josh Taylor, to just a lot of things. I feel like he's done his part to market himself to be that star in boxing. So I feel like he should be able to do something like this. But he came out directly, and I got the article right here. He talked about what it would take for him to unretire from boxing and come back to the sport. He stated the following, and I quote, "The only way I come back is, like I said, is for a multi-fight 9-figure deal." So 9 figures being 100 million or more. But it has to be, pause, see, people misunderstand what I mean. it's not just a good fight. I'm looking at 3 to 5 years or like a 6 to 8 fight deal with the network. Not with the promoter or anything, but directly with the network, because I am my own promotion. The only reason why is I know that the boxing industry is what the boxing industry is going to do to me if I come back, and I'm okay with that. I'll sacrifice my greatness for as long as my family is going to be well and secured after that, because it's really important. Yeah, so basically, he's just saying pretty much that he's not a stupid kid. He's a smart kid. He's not going to be exploited and taken advantage of by the sport of boxing. And I commend him for that, because listen, I go to fights a lot. I talk to people in boxing, different types of people, judges, managers, sanctioning body people, fighters, commission people. And sometimes I really do feel like people in boxing, when I say people in boxing, I mean anybody who's not a fighter. I feel like people in boxing oftentimes feel like their shit doesn't stink and that they're bigger than they really are. And the reality is this: if Teofimo Lopez isn't in the ring sacrificing for our pure entertainment and for his greatness in the sport, if he's not in the ring, I don't have a channel. They don't have a commission. There is no, the boxing does not run without the fighters. So I just feel like, people need to know that the fighters come first. And I'm glad Teofimo Lopez realized this, because, at the end of the day, people just don't give a fuck about the fighters. They don't. And Teofimo Lopez had a bunch of belts at one time. Whether you think he was undisputed or not is your interpretation, but he had a lot of belts at one time, so he had to come out of pocket for a lot of sanctioning fees. We saw Earl Spence Jr. recently at the Terrence Clark press conference make a big deal about sanctioning fee money and just where is it going, right? So with that being said, and with that being established here on True School Sports, it's like the name of the game is to get in, get out, have a great career, give people some moments to remember you by. But ultimately, when the dust settles and the lights aren't flashing no more, you want yourself to be good, and you want your family around you to be good, and that's what Teofimo's doing. So I commend him and I respect him, because he gets it. Like, he gets it. And the thing is, the sport of boxing, the industry of boxing, not the sport, the industry of boxing, the governing bodies, the managers, they don't want fighters. They don't want fighters to think about, life after boxing, because if they think about life after boxing and they prioritize their finances, then that could ultimately hinder or hurt their bottom line, hurt the amount of money they're taking. If the fighter realizes that he's getting screwed over in certain ways or being taken advantage of in certain ways, and he takes the necessary steps to, not allow it to happen to him, then basically, they're gonna have to fork over some more money. And at the end of the day, managers don't have any problems giving fighters an unfavorable contract that will, for lack of a better term, fuck them long term, as long as they're good. All right, who cares about the fighter? We've seen it time and time again. So I know I'm going on a long tangent, but I say all this to say that, look, I'm very happy for Teo. I couldn't be more happy for him, because there's a lot of things that go on in boxing that that aren't right. And he's been through a lot in his career. And if this is the stand he has to take to retire early from boxing, then God bless him. I hope he retires from boxing and don't ever come back. He could be a two-time lineal champion, play the game, don't let the game play you. And that's just what it's got to be, because the sanctioning bodies, the managers, the promoters, they got no problems playing the fighters. I would like it. I like every now and then when a fighter plays the industry rather than the industry play the fighter, because I'm just being around this sport and just knowing a lot of different people. I'm privy to a lot of things, and I just hear a lot of horror stories, and it's just like, and I see shit as well, because I know fighters personally, and it's just not cool. So it is what it is there. Now, last thing, shout out to Teo. Last thing is this. I'll talk about Josh Taylor, and we'll end the video because this is a long-winded video. Josh Taylor, let's talk about him. I've said many times here on True School Sports that, I'm picking Josh Taylor against the field, because I've always believed in Josh Taylor ever since I first seen him fight many years ago. I believe it was on the James DeGale Badu Jack undercard, and I was a fan. I've been a fan since that fight. And I always supported him, and I'll continue to support him. But like in this fight with Teo, he just looked flat. He looked flat. He had a new trainer in Joe McNally who had Still relatively unknown to most boxing fans, but you know, did train Liam Smith to the win against Chris Eubank Jr. in dominant fashion, so he had some good stock coming into the fight. But I just saw a flat Josh Taylor. I think it was Stephen Brentman Edwards on Twitter. He made a great point, and I want to kind of parrot what he said. You know, Josh Taylor is not like a uber athletic fighter. He's a guy that relies more on his skills and his fundamentals. So when you're a fighter like that, timing is a major thing, because you can't rely on athleticism and just out athletic a guy to a victory. No, you gotta be in sync. And I just saw a guy that wasn't in sync. I think the layoff did have an effect on him. I think, you know, making 140, even though if he says it's good, I do think it has taken its toll on his body. And truth be told, I mean, look, if you look at the fights against Prograis, Baranchik, all these fights, Catterall, Jose Ramirez, all these fights, Victor Posto, all these fights in his career, the wars he's had, he's been in a lot of wars, he's been in a lot of fights where, you know, he may have taken more punishment than he needed to take. And I don't want to stick a fork in the guy because we got to see how he looks at 147, but I have serious questions as to if, like, is Josh Taylor, have we already seen the best of him? Because honestly, look, let's be real. He was winning a lot of fights at 140 because, you know, he was able to be the bigger guy and kind of bully people around, and that spitefulness would carry him through in a lot of the later rounds and fights. He's not going to be able to fight that style at 47, so I feel like he's going to have to adjust his style, and we've already seen what happens when Josh Taylor tries to not be the spiteful, angry Scotsman he is. So I don't want to write him off because I like the guy so much, and I think the world of him. You know, he is Scotland's first undisputed champion since the great Ken Buchanan. Rest in peace, Ken Buchanan. But I personally think that we probably have seen the best of Josh Taylor. Maybe he wins a vacant world title at 147 after the Crawford Spence fight happens and the winner probably vacates or whatever. But I don't see that guy. The guy from the guy that lifted the Muhammad Ali trophy after they beat Prograis, I don't think that guy is gonna. I don't think he'll ever return back to that level. Could he still be a good fighter? Of course, he's gonna be always a good fighter. But I don't see him being the dominant champion he was at 140. So you know, it is what it is. I hope he doesn't switch trainers, because I don't think it's good for a fighter to keep switching trainers. So if he's got Joe McNally as his trainer, and he said everything went well, stick with Joe McNally or go back to McGuigan, but like stop changing trainers, because in the last, you know, handful of years he's going from McGuigan to Ben Davison to McNally. So that's not a good sign. It's not the trainer, it's the fighter, and that's just what it's gonna be. But he's still a great fighter, and I'm not gonna discredit him. You know, I don't think he's got a whole lot of boxing left in him, only because of the fact that I think he took a lot of damage. Even in his wins, like even in his best wins, he took a lot of damage. So if I'm Josh Taylor, you know, he's 32 now. You know, I'd say try to make a run at welterweight at a vacant title, hopefully, and get that belt, become two-weight world champion, and hang it up. But listen, all the respect in the world to Josh Taylor. He handled his loss, the first loss on paper at least of his pro career, like a true champion, like a true professional, and gotta respect him for that. So you know, much love to Josh Taylor. But yeah. Those are my long-winded thoughts on Teofimo Lopez, because, you know, I had a lot to say, and I just think that I like where his head is at as far as, you know, thinking about life after boxing. I like the fact that despite what people like me said or anybody negative said, he found a way to become the slick boxer, aka Gordo, that he was in the amateurs, and give us a great exhibition of the sweet science of boxing. And listen, I don't think, like, if he fights Devin or Tank or Rolly, like, these things aren't going to do anything more from him. Like, honestly, obviously it would add to his resume, of course, but I mean, he beat Lomachenko and Josh Taylor. He's a 2-division lineal champion. Why don't one of these guys like Devin or what's his name, Tank? Why don't they become lineal champion once, let alone twice, and then we can talk. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I know it's been a long time. I feel refreshed, honestly. Give me some video suggestions, because I know I've been away for a while. I missed a lot, so I'll have more videos coming out. But if there's anything I missed or anything that's happened, that's happening, or maybe a fight that got signed or anything, let me know in the comments down below about what do you want to see me make a video about. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just Kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We're here at the Hatanaka Boxing Gym in Nagoya, Japan. And for more great videos just like this one, make sure you guys click right here.